So convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein hanged himself this morning, and the officials said they found him at 6:30 a.m., which I think is really scary, which is really it's a shitty situation. We don't want anyone to, you never I don't believe in the death penalty, so I don't think, the state, I just don't think death is a good idea. Him being in prison forever for the things that he did, he was a bad guy. And for those who don't know, let me tell you what he did, because he is indeed a bad guy. Last month he was charged with sex trafficking of girls as young as 14 years of age, which is insane. If anyone is going to go to prison for the rest of their life, that's the person you want to be in prison for the rest of their life. And that's indeed what I wanted for Jeffrey Epstein. But yes, obviously committed suicide, or at least that's what we know so far. So he had avoided, and this is from 2008, he had avoided federal criminal charges in 2008 after prosecutors brokered a widely criticized deal that allowed him to plead guilty to state charges of solicitation of prostitution for a minor and serve only 13 months in jail. So basically what happened is, back in 2008, he was charged for the same exact crimes. This is the craziness, the insanity of him only spending 13 months in jail for what he did. Understand something. And those 13 months, I'm not even going to go into the details of that, but those 13 months that he was in jail, it wasn't actually in jail. He was there for 12 hours out of the day, 6 days a week, and outside of that time, he had time to go to work. He only needed to come to the jail cell at night, and this is in Florida. The insanity that's happening in Florida, I don't know, I don't understand it, but justice was going to be served, right? People, the victims of those crazy, insane crimes, were going to finally get some justice, but he committed suicide. And the reason the internet is blowing up, the reason everyone is really upset, the reason all of this is happening is because just last month, a week after being denied bail on federal sex trafficking charges, Mr. Epstein was found unconscious in his cell at the jail, with marks on his neck. Prison officials had been investigating that incident and for a possible suicide attempt. So they put him on suicide watch, and during his suicide watch, he was receiving daily psychiatric evaluations. According to the person familiar with the detention, he was removed from suicide watch. So understand. So he was charged, and he was let me say. A month ago, so the beginning of the July is when this first incident happened. And then by July 29th, they took him off suicide watch because after having those daily psychiatric evaluations, they considered him to be okay, right? So I'm looking at this from a nurse's perspective. And from a nurse's perspective, I can't hate too much, because 2 weeks, 3 weeks on being on suicide watch, yes, he attempted suicide, or that was the inclination. People didn't know if it was attempted suicide or people in jail, or shit just went down in jail. But either way, he had 2 to 3 weeks of being on suicide watch. They finally took him off of suicide watch on July 29th. And then today, this fine morning, we found him dead in his jail cell. So from a nurse's perspective, from a healthcare perspective, he had the psychiatric doctor evaluate him daily for a week, for more than a week. So if they decided that he was off of suicide watch, that's the decision they decided to make, right? I don't know what the laws and regulations are in jail cells, but maybe I would think if someone attempted to kill themselves, or we weren't sure, maybe have a camera there. I really hope there is some kind of footage, because this shit is way too convenient, right? For those elites, our current president and a former president were in cahoots with the man who had a sex trafficking scheme with minors. This is insane. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I need y'all to let me know in the comments. Do you believe this BS? Because I sure don't. I definitely don't believe any of it. Not even once. I'm telling you, I don't like these conspiracies, but this is something I definitely am super fishy about. If it is true, if they were just in common, if people just didn't know, if he actually just killed himself and he was off suicide watch and there's no one to blame, that's the truth. And if it's the truth, it's the truth. We can't argue with it, but we need a legit investigation to find out if it's legit. if it's legit. Moving on, all right? So until we find out more information, I don't want to be speculating out the wazoo, because right now you can say the Clintons did it. Right now you can say people from the right side, the Trump's family. You could say 1 million people did it because he was in cahoots with 1 million people, and he was about to squeal hardcore. Like, who's that dude? The 69, the dude with the colorful hair. You guys know what I'm talking about. But he was about to squeal, and a lot of people said, "Oh no, you're not. Not today. You're not. Not today. You're not." The conspiracy theorist inside of me is bubbling up too quickly for my liking. So let's get an investigation. Let's find out who did it, and let's get to the core of the issue. All right, Jeffrey Epstein. I don't even want to say rest in peace, but rest in peace. Okay. Hopefully, we find the facts. And hopefully, justice. It's hard. Justice can't be served now. He's dead, right? He's dead. Justice is not going to be served. But I hope those who did have a civil suit against him will get at least some financial backing after this entire situation, because the civil suit, court hearings can continue, all right? But the criminal obviously can't because he's dead.